Today we're going to be doing a little tool review. This is the AutoJare 12 volt lithium ion electric ratchet wrench. Is it any good? Should you buy it? And what kind of work can you do with it? Well, stay tuned. We'll talk about it. AutoJare sent me this tool for free and they asked me if I would do a good review on it. And I said, well, yeah, sure, I'll do a review on it, because earlier I had done a review on this AutoJare impact tool here that you see in my hand. So far it's been pretty good. This is the AutoJare 20 volt 3.0 lithium ion impact tool, and it has been a pretty good tool so far. So I said, you send me this stuff for free, I'm going to do an honest review. That's just how I am. So let's just look at this and see what we got. So basically in the mail it comes like this. Pretty typical casing for a lot of tools these days. They don't spend a lot of money in their cases, but it did the job. It got it here pretty safely. And here's what we got. We got our little instructional manual here. We got a charger. We got some grease for the head. And we got a couple of sockets here. This is for the 3/8 drive with a 3/8 socket and a 1/2 inch adapter, which is kind of nice to have. And also you have the tool, which is a fairly heavy tool, and it does have a lithium ion battery. Now it did come with this battery already in the tool, and there's a look at this. You can see 12 volt max 1.5 amp. I think this will be just fine for smaller jobs. For heavier jobs you might need a little help, but we'll give this thing a spin and see how it does over the next couple days and give you my honest opinion. So let's look at some specs here on it. This does have 38 foot-pounds of max torque, and you can see a pretty decent head there. And for the grease, this is basically for this up here. You want to keep this kind of greased up a little bit as you're working. And here are the adapter sockets they give you. This here is a 14 millimeter socket, and you can kind of use this for some work. And also you have your little socket right here. And here is your 3/8 adapter for maybe a 1/2 inch socket or something. And those are the two tools you get there with that. Now for charging, you basically have to take the battery out of the tool, and you have a little place right here on the battery that you plug in. Now I found that this battery was pretty much charged when I got it. I plugged it in and it took about 10 minutes to fully charge. And we'll go ahead and put the battery in. Now this thing does have a variable speed trigger, and it's 280 RPM, which is fairly fast. As overload protection, it's designed in the inbuilt communication system between the tool and the battery, and the charger provides optimized performance, and it keeps it from overheating. Basically, the battery and the tool talk to each other, and they say, hey, I'm getting hot up here, and the battery says, okay, well, I'll shut down. On the top here, we have our direction switch, and on the bottom, we have a cute little light for the battery indicator, and on the side, you have green, yellow, and red. So that's kind of nice to let you know if the battery's kind of getting weak as you're working on some objects. And it has a nice rubbery feel here to this handle, so it grips in my hand really well, and I kind of like the feel of that. And of course, the 12 volt lithium ion battery. Now, a lot of products today, especially on lithium ion, they don't write out the whole word. So if you see the Li-ion, that does stand for lithium ion, just so you know. And right here you'll see some slots. Well, this is actually cooling heat design. Extends the lifespan of the tool and the battery. Basically these are heat sinks, so if this thing starts getting a little hot, well, you'll have a way to breathe, and it'll make the tool even last longer and also protect the battery. One thing that I did notice on this side of the tool, it actually does say lithium. So on the battery it says Li-ion, but on the side of the tool it says lithium. So you just never know where they're going to write the word lithium or lithium ion on tools these days. And also, we're talking about the light a minute ago, and you can see just how bright this light is. So it makes it really handy if you have to work in low light situations. So we'll go ahead and charge this up. We'll push on the two tabs here. This will release the battery. We got our charger here. We'll plug this in. And on the battery right there, you'll see a place to plug this in. We'll plug this in here. We got our clock, and you can see on the battery charger we have a red light. We'll leave this set, and we'll just see how long it does take it to charge it the rest of the way up. Like I said, it's pretty full, but just for video purposes, we'll just see how long it takes. Okay, you see that was pretty fast, so that didn't take long at all. So let's go ahead and hook this and plug the charger. Stick this back in the tool, and we're good to go. And one other helpful tip I can give you, if you're going to be using this tool, try to keep the grease, gasoline, and any solvents away from this rubber grip, because over time you can damage that grip. And I'll show you an example. And here is a perfect example of why you want to keep these grips nice and clean, keep oil and gasoline off. This is my old Porter cable impact tool. It's about 4 or 5 years old, and you can see what happens when grease and oil can get on there. It actually gets down into these crevices and loosens this material up. Next thing you know, it looks pretty ugly, so just be aware. This is probably true for any tool. You want to keep these handle grips as clean as you can, especially on your newer tool. Okay, so there was a good look at the tool, the specs, and how to use it. Now, over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to use this, shoot some video. Unlike a lot of YouTubers, they just show you the tool, they play around with it, they actually don't do any work with it. Well, I'm going to work with it, give it a decent workout, let you know what I think here in a couple of weeks about it, and let you know if it's worth the money, and if you should buy this tool for 60 bucks, and will it work for you? Well, I'll see you back here in a couple of weeks. Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks and we are back, and a couple of things here we'll talk about quickly. Actually, I'm pretty impressed with this. I never could get this thing to die completely. I used it one day for about 4 hours on and off, and I did get it to go down to less than half charge. But when I hooked it back up to charge it up, it took about 40 minutes to charge it up, and it was fully charged. And as you can see today, it's still fully charged. The second thing is you got to constantly keep greasing this, because this will start to stick after a while. Other than that, not really a big deal. Like I said, you do get some grease with it. This area right here gets extremely hot. Now, I can see why they put these heat sinks in there. Actually, I had a place on my finger where I actually touched this a couple days ago and actually got burned. It was so hot. So if you're going to be using this tool, try not to leave it out in the sun when you're working with it, because that'll just add to the misery if you actually touch this and actually get burned. But other than that, I gotta say, this is pretty impressive little tool. I was able to keep it fairly clean just with some soap and water and kind of wipe it off a little bit, and you can see it still looks pretty good. So overall, I think this tool is well worth the $60. Now, mainly light jobs. You're not going to be breaking 3/4 inch big bolts on a car or truck. You might be able to break it loose with a breaker bar first, then use this to spin it out. But other than that, this is mainly just for light to medium jobs. Other than that, I think you're going to like this tool if you get it, and overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. All right, and here's one more look at the tool, everything in the box that you get. Now, I would almost put this tool up against some of the brand names that's been around quite some time. I think this does a wonderful job. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from. Would you buy this tool? Comment in the section below and let me know what you think. And finally, if you have a product you would like for me to display on my channel or even do a review on, send me an email in the link below. Other than that, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Until my next video, I will see you later.